The rainbow flag scene in Not Me is literally the most unforgettable moment in BL. Hi friends! Today it's all gonna be about two of my favorite scenes in one of my favorite TV series, which is Not Me. And I'm so excited. This is literally the best. So I'm so excited. Let's get into it. If you know me, if you watch my channel, if you watch my short form content, if you listen to my podcast, you know that Not Me is literally one of my favorite TV series ever, not just BL, and I love talking about it. Literally made a podcast episode which is nearly an hour long about this amazing show. The whole series is just so amazing. And so if you want to know more about what I think about it and also some about the political aspects of it, go listen to my podcast because that's where I go really into it. And today we're going to talk about, for me, one of the two most iconic scenes, or like also important scenes, especially the rainbow scene. It's just so iconic. But we're going to start with another scene which I really love, and I literally have that saying, that quote as a poster here in my apartment. I designed the poster myself. I made a little Redbubble shop for it even. So if you want to have the same design, you can get that as well on Redbubble. Yes, it's just, I'm so in love with Not Me. And so let's get into it. Here, the first scene of the two scenes I want to talk about is the freedom, is the oxygen of the soul, which for me personally is just such an amazing quote, which I know is not originally from Not Me, because I've seen it like on other sources on the internet and so on, but it's just the best saying, I think, personally, because it's so true. And I feel like that's why also this show is just so coherent within itself, because literally everything they do, everything they say and how they behave just like really shows the political aspects of all the characters and the show. So that's why. And I think also personally it's like such an amazing quote, because it literally describes kind of humans, like what they always struggle for, what they always hope for, what they always wish for, what they always fight for. It's freedom. That's basically what normal humans who are not super rich or like anything like that, you know, that's what they fight for. They just want to have freedom and happiness and peace. I feel like those are like the things. And so that's why I think it is also so important to just like consider what like are the freedoms that afford you to live your life, to be yourself, to be your authentic self, to be happy. So yeah, that's why. And so we're just gonna quickly watch a little clip from that scene just to refresh it.
เหมือนที่มึงเคยบอกกูไง Freedom is the oxygen of the soul.
I think that when like White disguised as black and Graham sit together on the motorcycle driving, and then Graham says this really beautiful quote, and then just like you can see that White's like really considering and really thinking about it, and it's also kind of giving perks of being a wallflower when they are going through the tunnel, and it's like a David Bowie song is playing, and Logan Lerman's character says, "I swear we're infinite." So, well, we swear we're infinity or something like that. I feel like this scene kind of gives like a similar vibe, like from the gravitas, from also the meaning in general of the quote, but also within the show to the characters, to the political movement that is happening. Because at the time of recording this, we had the crazies with Nepal, basically, like Gen Z in Nepal, basically like outing this really corrupt government and like basically using One Piece flags as their symbol, which I love that. And so that's why I really thought that this quote in general is really fitting, because you can see that in the case of, for example, Nepal, it's like freedom is the oxygen of the soul. It literally is like, if you want to have free will, if you want to have rights, if you want to live a peaceful life, but also a happy life, if you want to just live your life the way that you want it, like, you need freedom, and you need freedoms basically, and rights. And you don't need rich people, you don't need corrupt people, you don't need all of the horrible things. And for example, in Nepal, like, though they ousted these people, which was just so amazing, also really efficient, like they're just really united and organized. And so, yeah, I just wanted to mention that. It was one of my inspirations, definitely, for this video. And I think that quote really fits them, and generally all of these like struggles that are going right now in the world in 2025 and also before. It really just fits all of these like all of these movements and like protests and movements in general, social movements, political movements, however you want to call them, just really fits this vibe of, obviously, also the politicalness of Not Me, but also of that quote. Yeah, so that is just it's just such an amazing quote. And I've also seen like that people got like really cool tattoos also from it. And I think that's like a quote that always speaks true to you. It doesn't matter in which stage of life you are. It can either be an uplifting quote or a reminder quote. And I think that's like really important to generally like keep that as a reminder. Because we as humans biologically obviously need oxygen to, you know, literally survive and be alive. But what does your soul need, you know, to be alive, to feel alive? And so I feel like that's why that quote is just the best, and it really shows really what human nature is all about, basically. Okay, the other scene that I really wanted to discuss today is the rainbow flag scene, the scene at the protest where they're having this like marriage equality fashion show, because this show is from 2021, I believe. So it is before Thailand had legal same-sex marriage and marriage equality. And so that's why, again, filming this in 2025, especially now here in like the autumn of 2025, it really has a different meaning in a different ways and a different historical significance. For me personally, but also for all the LGBTQ people in Thailand. And I think it also just really gives hope to so many other countries where there is not marriage equality, where there's not legal same-sex marriage, like for example in South Korea. So yeah, that's why I think it's firstly very important, and secondly, it is just done so beautifully within the show, like within the series. This is like for so many reasons an amazing scene, an important moment for the characters, for the series overall, for the plot. It's just like, and it became this iconic scene that keeps being shown and also used on different social media platforms, because people love this scene so much. It especially obviously pops up when it's like Pride Month, but also when they legalized same-sex marriage in Thailand, and then it was officially like signed into law. On both of those occasions, it really blew up on the internet again, because it holds this political, social significance now even more, because back then it was basically a like beacon of hope, but also a call to action. Because like I said, this fashion show, this marriage equality fashion show, obviously happens at an anti-establishment, anti-corruption demonstration, protest that was sparked obviously by the main characters group, which then later is known as ROL, Rule of Law. But that's like only like a small part of it. It's also the significance of that this happened and that they made this into the show, obviously. And then later on, when they actually legalized it in 2024, when it was finally passed, and in 2025 when it was officially and you can actually get married, is such a beautiful scene. And of course, it's also really significant within the series, because the two characters, White, who is pretending to be black, and Sean, before this had a falling out, basically, a difference of opinion, and so on. And so they meet again at this protest, and the other characters, which White slash pretending to be black, had already left or were not with him at that moment. And so White and Sean are like, their eyes meet before they are actually in the same vicinity. And then the fashion show kind of ends, and they have this massive pride flag, this massive rainbow flag, and they like hold it up like a little tent, and everyone is like, some people are like going under it and they're jumping and they're shouting marriage equality down with Tawi or something like that, I think, like in Thai. And so it's just like really this amazing moment. It's like at a protest and they are reuniting, and it's under a pride flag, but also we know that obviously the two characters played by Off and Gun also going to be in a romantic relationship. And so that's why the significance doesn't end, basically. Like, there's layers upon layers upon layers. And yeah, so we will shortly watch a little clip. Yeah, I hope this clip doesn't get muted, because that has happened before because of copyrights and stuff, but we'll try. Yeah, it's just so beautiful, and I love that they like that White basically starts jumping under the flag and Sean joins him, and then he takes his hand and he's like there and he's holding up their hands, and it's just the best. I love it so much. Like, they are really so cute, and that is just such a significant moment for them as characters, for the social movement that they basically started, for their group, for Thailand, and then again, under the background of it, now several years later, there being actual marriage equality, because again, also, the petition that is also shown in the scenes before this scene happens, it was an actual petition that if you would zoom or like stop, and you could like take the picture, take the QR code, it will lead to the actual Thai petition. So that's really cool. And so that's why I love that. That's why I always also say that it's so important, like media literacy and like analyzing media and like having representation in different forms of media, books, series, movies, music is so important in all aspects of life, because it firstly teaches empathy, and secondly, the people who are being ostracized for whatever reason, or it's also being shown that they don't need to be ostracized because it's really not necessary, because it's kind of stupid or whatever, like also very hateful and stuff like that. And so that's why I think, again, it's like it definitely played a part with like some other, especially in Thailand with BL series, they played a significant part in this social change, basically. And so that's why I'm like, there's so many layers and meta layers upon meta layers. And yeah, that's why I think it's just those scenes, I really wanted to focus on those scenes, because like I said in the beginning, Not Me is literally one of the best shows I've ever watched, and it is like the political messages in every episode with every character, it's a little bit different. That's why I literally made nearly an hour podcast episode about it, because I could not stop talking about it. And there's so many videos I've made also on TikTok, for example, about this series and about its meaning and messages. And that's why I really wanted to like just hone into those two really iconic, important, but also unforgettable scenes. Literally the rainbow flag scene is literally my Roman Empire. I feel like for many people also on social media is the same. And so that's why I really just wanted to like share that with you, share my thoughts, share some of the layers that I have basically deciphered and analyzed. And yeah, it's just too good of a show, and I just needed to share that with you. Thank you, friends, for hanging out with me in my Fangirl Chaos Corner. Hope you enjoyed it. Tell me all about what are your favorite scenes in Not Me, but in general in BL. What are your unforgettable moments? I would love to talk to you about that. And I will see you next time. Bye!